Well, hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is glitzzygem. Thank you for watching. As you noticed in my last video, I went ahead and I did a tutorial on this palette here. I did a second look on this palette. I'm gonna create one last look with this palette, and I think I'm gonna go back and follow up on another palette that I had before, and I want to see if I can recreate. I think there's two palettes, and they're the palettes that I'm talking about are by Malibu Glitz. I've only created like one look out of those other two palettes, and out of this palette I've actually created two. I'm gonna go on my third look with this one. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the third look that I'm about to share with you guys. So stay tuned, keep on watching, don't change that channel, and I'll be right back.
Every single day I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Alright everybody, well I'm back. So I got all my things together, my brushes, my primer, my eyeshadows, everything I need to do to create a look. So this is what I do to get prepared, and then I continue with my tutorial. So I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyes with my Hard Candy Eye is the Limit eyeshadow primer. I'm going to put some on this brush here, like so. I think I'm going to put just a little bit more. And I like this Hard Candy primer because it actually sets. It doesn't have a sticky base, tacky base to it, and it sets on its own. I don't need to put any kind of setting powder. It just sets. And I put it just all over my eyelid in areas that I normally would wear eyeshadow. Even under the under lash line. And just in case I want to add a color to my under lash line when I'm going to do dramatic looks. But in this case I'm just going to do a natural look. But I'm just showing you what I do whenever I do when I do my eyeshadow. You know, how I prime my eyes, and in the areas that I need the primer at. That's really what I'm showing you. That's a tip for you guys. Only prime where you're going to use your shadow. Don't prime the under lash line just for the sake of priming the under lash line. So that's what concealers are for. This is an eyeshadow primer. There's a difference, but a lot of makeup artists use concealers now as primers to prime their eyes as a base, and sometimes they do have to set it with like a setting powder to make it set. And with this one just sets right away. This is an actual eyeshadow primer, so there is a difference between the both of them. Just like when you use a primer for your face, it's a base to kind of set your face. Your face is like a blank canvas, and so that's what normally most makeup artists use are face primers, just to kind of give it that base so that their foundation will come on smooth and flawlessly. And yeah, and you know, so that they won't have any kind of creases. That's usually what the primer is supposed to do. It's supposed to protect you from creasing. It's supposed to protect you from any oils that your skin may produce. It's supposed to block any of that if you have oily skin. It's actually, they have different primers in the market. Some are hydrating primers and some are mattifying primers. So you have to choose the one that's right for you. And for me, I don't have problems with oily skin or dry skin. Mine, I have a normal type skin, so it's kind of hard for me to actually decide on which primer to go for. So when I do start testing out foundations, I'm gonna have to go through different primers to actually figure out which primer is best for me. And that's what everybody will have to do. Every person who's gonna wear makeup will have to go through the process in finding the correct primer for their face type. So I'm done priming my eye. And we're going to go ahead and start with this look. Also, I recommend that everybody buys a interchangeable sponge cleansing brush, because it cleanses all your brushes after interchanging colors, because I always like to use one eyeshadow set. I don't like to be picking from a set of so many brushes and just picking and choosing, you know, the clean ones because the other ones are dirty. So that cleansing brush is actually pretty handy, comes in handy. It keeps you from having to switch around using a lot of different, you know, switching around using different brushes if you only gonna need to use these brushes. If you're gonna need more than these brushes, then yeah, but always have it handy just in case you may need to use that same brush again to do some blending or some tapering or some buffing. You know, you want to interchange that shade that's on the brush by cleaning it off of that sponge brush. So that's the purpose of a sponge brush, and it actually fell on the floor, so I have to pick it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna follow up on this palette here again one last time. And I'm liking these shades right here because they're like very neutral, very light, almost bare, right? But I wanna get some pinky. I'm gonna get some pinky tones in there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start off with this color here, which is called Hula, as my transitional shade. Okay, I know it's not pink, but just trust me on this one. I'm gonna use this shade as my transitional shade. Okay. So I am going to try to create a pink look. That's why I said I know it's not pinky. So I don't think I told y'all that I was trying to create a pink look, but I did tell y'all that yesterday. I mentioned it to you in my video yesterday that I was going to not recreate, but create a look with the pink shades in them. So that was my take on that yesterday. So yeah, so just in the crease with this eyeshadow brush, just the one with the tapered end, and it's pointy and I love it. So I haven't switched, I haven't needed to switch over to different brushes to create looks. I don't know, I mean, different brushes perform differently. I think that's why a lot of makeup artists use so many brushes, and not only that, they're promoting them as well so that people can buy them and say, oh, this is going to give you this look, or this is going to give you that look. You know, I'm not going to say all brushes work the same, because they don't all work the same. Yes, some may be better than others. You just have to kind of find the right brush set that works for you, one that will give you really, actually I cleaned my brush and I'm actually just buffing out this color here on this side, just buffing it out, making it lighter. Same way with this, with my eyeshadow brush, I just cleaned it off so I wouldn't have any extra pigmentation on it, because I don't really need extra. I just need it to get a little lighter, which got lighter now. But I don't know, everybody's into Sigma beauty brushes. Don't get me wrong, these brushes that I'm mentioning to you are pretty good. Sigma beauty brushes, Morphe brushes, ABH brushes are pretty good. It's just they're so expensive. They're so expensive. But I mean, if you're gonna stick to buying a brush set, then by all means, and those are the brush sets that you're gonna stick with, and you're gonna dye with them, then by all means buy the set. You know, buy the whole set if you need the whole set. You know, to help you create the looks throughout your years, you know, of doing your makeup. If it's going to help you create the looks that you need for your face, for your eyes, buy the set. Even though it's expensive, it's worth it. So I think that's why a lot of makeup artists promote those brushes, you know, so not only for the company, the benefit of the company, but also for the benefit of the influencer who's using those brushes, so they can get a commission out of it. Or some of them are just doing reviews on it, just promoting them, actually just showing them that they're using them for their tutorials, and sometimes they don't even get a commission off of it. They just kind of either get like an affiliation code, or sometimes they get like discounts, or I'm pretty, you know, they're getting something in return. If not just the free brushes, but they're getting something else in return. So either way, they, you know, the company and the influencer are getting something out of it. So using the same eyeshadow brush, going in again with my transition shade. Now I was going to use this peach coral shade, but I'm going to go ahead and use this one instead, because this one is starting to look more, we're starting to now build up our pink image. Okay, so we want to start off with the dark transition shade, but now we're going to build up the image of the pink shade on your eyeshadow, so on your eyelids. So you want to go with the next shade that's going to turn your eyes pink. And this is the shade Paradise. I'm also going to use that on in the crease. Just go back and forth with the same eyeshadow brush. Just go back and forth. And even if you have to go above the crease, you know, to blend some of the Hula shade, to kind of buff that shade, make it kind of tone it down a little, you know, you can. But so far so good. We're, you know, grab more product, because what I'm barely doing, I'm barely tapping into the pan. I am not actually dipping in the pan a lot, because really these the formula on this eyeshadow, you also have to get the feel for the palette. If you start to feel that the palette looks like it's gonna, like when you barely dip your brush in there and you see that a lot of product comes up, or you get kick up on it, then that means you don't need too much of that product. Sometimes you might just need to tap that excess off. But I'm being very careful, so I'm just barely dipping into it like this, so I won't have to really tap the excess off. But if you dip in there too much, then yeah, you want to, let me just show you for an example. If I go like this, I want to tap the excess. You see how powdery? You saw that powder? I saw the powder. I don't know if y'all saw the powder, but it was powdery. It's because you grab too much of the product. So that's why I just barely tap in there, so I don't have to do the tapping motion and getting rid of the powder. So that's another tip for you guys. So let's concentrate on this look. See, I'm just going back and forth, and like I mentioned, I'm just trying to blend, and not only that, but also trying to buff this darker shade to make it a little less darker, I guess I should say, to make it just kind of, you know, just stay neutral from the look that I'm going to create with this. Okay, so now the next shade I want to use on my outer corner is going to be the Hibiscus shade, which is this one here. And I've been using just my eyeshadow brush. I haven't switched brushes yet. So I'm going to go ahead and do circular motions on the outer corner of the lid, outer corner of the crease, and above the crease. So just the whole outer corner, you're just doing circular motions with a loose wrist. Like I said, I barely tapping in there to get that product in, and then you do want to start working your way into the crease and outer crease. Inner crease. You do want to work that product into the inner crease and outer crease if you have to, but just as long as you're getting that shade on the outer corners of the lid, and just keep working your way in until you get like halfway to the lid, because I think after this I'm going to use one last shade to finish this look, so that's why I'm working my shade in, working it in. So there you have it. You're working it in the inner corner as well, in the crease, outer crease. Just work it in, just work it in, and you're working it in on the lid as well too. Okay, just trying to make this hibiscus color a little darker, making it look more burgundy or berry toned. That's what I want this to look like, more berry toned than peachy. Okay, I think it's looking a little too warm, so, and I'm getting some fallout here, so, well, not fallout, but it's starting to get into my bottom lash area. So in this case, when I feel like it's getting too warm, you want to go ahead and use a cooler shade. You know, since we used the Hula, we're going to go ahead and use a darker shade, which is this Tiki cooler brown. And we are going to go ahead and use that in the outer corner as well. And into the crease. Work it in. Work it in. Work in that Tiki. So going back in with Tiki. Trying to get it to look cooler, not warm. It looks warm on camera, and it does look warm in person as well, but that's all right. Okay, so let's go ahead and use hibiscus again, and this time we're gonna go ahead and do the other side and do circular motions. Get into the crease, outer crease, or above the crease, but we're actually doing the outer crease and working its way in. Working its way into the lid. Just continue to do that. Just continue to make this shade more pronounced. It's still not looking red like I want it to, like that hibiscus shade, like that berry tone. Still not looking like that, but I'm just building up the color here. I know it's taking forever, so now we're going to go in with Tiki. Once we did that, I still want to bring it more in. I want to bring the shade in more on the lid. I don't want to cover the lid up. I just do want to bring it more in to the lid. Okay, so let's go ahead and go in with the Tiki shade. I'm going to go ahead and clean this hibiscus shade off. Go in with the Tiki. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did with the hibiscus, just circular motions with the loose wrist and going in there with the crease into the corner, into the inner corner. Such a pretty shade. I love this shade. I love that Tiki shade. That Tiki shade is really nice. So this is how it's looking so far. I don't think I have any fallout, but it's just more like it's going to the bottom of the Sorry that loud noise was distracting. It's my air conditioner. Still kind of warm down here in Texas. It's still warm over here. So look, this is how it's looking so far. Okay, so we're almost done. Now we're gonna go ahead and get my blending brush, which is the flatter, fluffier one. The flatter, fluffier one is not the pencil brush. The pencil brush is paddled and it's very flat, but this one is fluffy, but it's flatter. So we're going to use this blending brush. We're going to go ahead and go in with the shade Mai Tai. We're going to use this on the lid. So this is what we're going to use on the lid, okay? We kind of would have used this like with the pencil brush. We're using like as a topper, but we're actually putting it on the lid, so I'm using my blending brush instead of the pencil brush. So Mai Tai, using Mai Tai, which is this shade here, Mai Tai, going in with the next side. You can see the foily red tone on it, like a full shade. Not bad, isn't it? That's not bad. Not a bad color. This is how it's looking so far. Okay. So, once we have that, we're going to go ahead and I want to use a topper for the lid because it just looks like it's all blended in together, which I didn't expect that to happen, but it did. It's okay. It all blends in together. I mean, I used different shades you saw, but it all turned out to look like this, just all one shade. So, we can always cut the crease and add a different shade so that it can kind of like not look all like it's all blended together. So let's go ahead and cut the crease and see what outcome we'll get. You know, we'll see what outcome we'll get. Or should I just use the topper? I think I'd rather just leave it the way it is. Okay, so I'm going to leave it the way it is. Using, you know, the red tones in this palette. As you can tell, they're still looking warm toned. This is not a very cool tone palette other than the look that I created yesterday. So I'm going to go ahead and add a topper to this look right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and use this topper here. It's in the same it almost looks like the same shade, but it's a little lighter, and this is real cheap. I got this at the Rainbow department store. If you have a Rainbow near you, you can also go online, buy their products. But yeah, if there's a store near you, you can, I'm not sure that, you know, these were on clearance. I'm not sure. Just stop by in there. They always have good cosmetics to choose from as far as, you know, for eyeshadows. I wouldn't buy my foundations there. I wouldn't buy like setting powders or pressed powders. It's just, I have very sensitive skin, so I wouldn't do that. But for you, if nothing will affect you, then go on with it. This is $1.99 actually. I only paid 99 cents because it was 50% off. I think you can see it from here. See, I only paid, it's $1.99. But I only paid 99 cents because it was 50% off. And it's the knobby metallic glitter shadow. Knobby metallic glitter shadow. So it was kind of like the shimmer that I used, and I was trying to give it the illusion of this, but I'm seeing that it's kind of like just blending in with the rest of the eye look. I could always use like a different shade, but I really wanted to create like a pink color with this palette, which I couldn't get pink. But this is the only bad thing about these Rainbow department store eyeshadows or eye makeup, they don't come with color names. So I just so I'll just apply it on the lid like so. And just spread it out on the lid into the crease. Almost like if you're doing a cut crease with the concealer, but you're actually using the glitter to do that for you. Okay, so it's just giving me more of a shinier effect, glittery, shinier effect. So you can also do the whole lid. Let's just do the whole lid. Let's give it that, just that glitter all over the lid to create this look. See, big difference. Makes it pop more. So I'm going to go ahead and do the next eye the same way. And this is just, and the reason why these shades turned out the way they did is just that this palette really doesn't contain too many different shades that'll give you the look I was expecting for, because it should have came out different, and it didn't. Came out like it was all like one big, like one, just look, it just came out looking the same. And you saw I used different shades, blended them out, and they kind of all came together as one shade. So I really didn't like the way that palette performed like that. So, but yeah, this is the look with the glitter eyeshadow. This glitter metallic eyeshadow. And actually these are pretty good for around the fall and winter season. We're gonna start seeing more glitters. I can compare these almost with the Stila glitter shadows. You know, Stila is a more expensive brand, but you know, if you don't have the money, these are like, this is a drugstore. Everything I'm using is drugstore products, so I'm using drugstore product for the topper. All right, well, let me go ahead and get off camera, and let me go ahead and see what I can do to make this look pop a little better. Okay, right, so stay tuned, don't change that channel. Okay, my gems, so I'm back. So I fixed the problem. Well, really, there was no problem. It's just I kind of created a more or less boring look. The actual look that I created with this glitter eyeshadow and with the colors that I used to create the eyeshadow look and putting on that glitter, actually it's a look, okay? It's a boring look, you know, but it's not something that, oh, where you messed up on your makeup. It's just that I used a lot of like similar shades, you know, similar color tone shades from the palette. The palette didn't give me too much to work with, so they all came out looking, the color came out looking the same, like they all blended in together, like the shades blended in together. So I topped it off with the glitter eyeshadow, metallic glitter eyeshadow. And then to show y'all what else I did, because just because it's not messing up, you know, I say mess up because I expected it to look different. I expected, you know, the shimmer be it and it'll look great, but actually the shimmer kind of blended in with the rest of the color, so it didn't turn out the way that I expected. That's how it is sometimes with makeup, you know, it doesn't turn out the way you expect. So what you can do is you can always create a different look. If the look that you wanted to create at first didn't turn out the way you expected it, always improvise. Find something else that you can do to make it look a little better. Even if you know, for example, what I did, I just added some silver eyeliner to the bottom waterline and also to the top lash line. I used silver instead of black, because black is just, I mean, black is boring. I mean, you know, yeah, you can use black eyeliner, but you know, you can use it all the time. You can use it in every look and it looks great, but it's just, I wanted to do something that you don't normally have to use the same colors over and over and over. So that's why I chose to go with silver, because of the glitter specks. They're silver. They're silver glitter specks. And then also went on my not waterline, but on my lash line. As you can see, I have some silver eyeliner here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to smudge. I'm going to do my smudging technique, where I smudge my eyeliner all across the bottom of my lash line, so that it'll look like you have silver eyeshadow at the bottom lash line. So I have silver eyeshadow. And you can also take it a step further. If you do have silver eyeshadow, to make this more prominent, you can always use the silver eyeshadow, which I have silver eyeshadow. I just felt like, I think the eyeliner that I use, because it's a creamy consistency, it's a creamy eyeliner, and this actually just gives me the performance that I need even without a shadow. But you can always add different shades. Like, okay, we have silver, you want to add some pink to it, we can add pink to it. So let's go back into our palette here, and we'll go ahead and use we can use the My Tai, the hibiscus shade, you know, and just mix it in with the silver. You just gotta choose wisely which color you want to choose. Do you want to choose that, or do you want to go even lighter? You know, we can use this Paradise shade. Let's go ahead and do the Paradise shade and see how this turns out on the bottom lash line, smudging it together with the eyeliner. And like I said, if it's not the color you want, you can always go darker. So always start light, go light to darkest. I'll go back in with some more Paradise. And not only that, this palette also has other shimmer shades like this one here. We could have used that for the bottom lash line, but I want my lash line to be a little darker. So my bottom lash line. So that's why I'm using the pink. And just adding it in there with this silver eyeliner that we just smudged from the lower lash line. As you can see, you don't see the silver anymore, right? But I'm going to go back in with the silver eyeliner silver eyeliner, and I'm going to do my waterline so you can see the silver more pronounced. See? See how that looks? Now we can even take it a step further, and we can also make the bottom lash. I think we should stick to, you know, getting a color underneath the lash line to make this look more creative, more dramatic. So let's go in with the shade, the next darker shade, which is Hibiscus. I said always start light, you know, because we don't know what we are working with here, if it's gonna look good. But since we saw that with the light pink shade, it's kind of making this look a little better. So I think I'm gonna stick with that. It's making it look more rounded off like this, kind of make it look like it's coming together. So don't ever think that it's messed up, like it got messed up, and don't get discouraged because that's what happens with makeup. You're always gonna figure out how to fix mistakes, which it wasn't a mistake, but you're gonna not fix mistakes, but fix little snafus that you felt like, oh, well, this is not the look I wanted to go for. You could always, if you know how to create looks, you'll know how to actually create them to where they look better than what you least expected. All right, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I didn't expect it to turn out the way it did, like all one color, and I said, okay, let me add that top of glitter shimmer on there, and it actually turned out pretty good. It didn't look too bad, you know, the glitter shimmer didn't look too bad. So I took it a step further, and I used the eyeliner, the silver eyeliner, and smudged it out, and now I'm smudging it out on the other eye with the shade Paradise first, the lighter shade, because we wanted to see how the effect came out on this eye, and it's looking like it's coming out pretty good. So let's just continue the same step on the other eye. Now we're going to go in with Hibiscus, and we're going to go ahead and smudge that color in there. So it's not a mistake we made, so don't think this was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. So now I have to go ahead, and you can see that now it's different. You can see glitter. You can see the silver eyeliner. So I'm going to go on with my mascara. Okay, so I'll be right back. Give me a second. And voila. Here's the finishing look. No mistakes done. Just a different detour of the creation that I was trying to create. I'm sorry. The look that I was trying to create is just a different detour. But the look is not so bad. Not bad at all. So I tested out the reds and pinks and the burgundies in the shade of that palette. Tested them out, and yeah. So this is the end result of that. So what I did off camera, I went ahead and I used my regular Black is Black Maybelline mascara for my eyelashes, and I curled them, and also did it for my bottom lash line. And my waterline, I went ahead and I used the silver at the beauty supply store. Is by NK eyeliner, and it's in the shade silver, and that's what I used for my top lash line, the top lid line, and my waterline. That's what I use to bring out the pop of the shimmer of the glitter in the eyeshadow topper. And for my lips, I went ahead and I used my knobby lip liner pencil. They also make lip liner, gel lip liner pencil, the shade Rose. The shade Rose. That's the lip liner I'm using. And then I'm using my Jasmine LaBelle Luster Shine lip gloss in the shade number 3. You won't be able to see that from here because it's really small print. So yeah, you won't be able to see it, but it's in the shade number 3. These are all drugstore makeup, and this is the look I created with it. I think it looks awesome. I think it looks great. Just wasn't the direction that I wanted it, but this is the way it turned out, you know. But overall, I liked it. It's not so bad. I liked it. It's not so bad. So thank you for watching, and for those who are new to my channel, please subscribe. Be part of our YouTube community. We're a small community now, but we're trying to build up our subscriber base. I'm also trying to hit 200 subscribers so I can do a giveaway. I'm excited to do that. So if you can please let your friends know, family members know that, you know, to just subscribe, come onto my channel. I have playlists. You can go under my playlist. You can see other topics other than makeup. If you want to watch something and you just want to kill time, or you're interested in watching all my videos, you can. So yeah, that's all I have to say, and thank you for watching, and I appreciate you guys clicking on my channel. So love you, gems, and I'll see you in my next video.